All right, it is time for the Clone Stamp tool group, which you'll notice is the 10th tool group from the top of the toolbar, shortcut S. Go ahead and press S, select that. What the clone stamp does, as its name suggests, is it allows you to clone one area of your image and paint it somewhere else. And much like the spot healing brush tool, or pardon me, the healing brush tool, it requires that you capture a source point first. So let's say we want to draw these buildings up in the sky for whatever reason. We'll alt-click our source point right here, and then wherever we click next, the image, a copy of the image will start there, and then we can paint so that the rest of the image will correspond accordingly to this first source point. And I'll show you what I mean. So if I click right here, now this window is here, and anywhere else that I paint will be the same as the rest of the image relative to this window. So you'll notice as I paint this way, we start to get that yellow building and then the gray building in sight. And if we wanted to reset again, we would have to capture another source point. So let's click here, and then voila. We'll go ahead and undo those. As far as the tool option goes, they're pretty straightforward. Up here we have the same options as the regular paintbrush, so the hardness has to do with the rate that the center of your tool fades to minimum opacity. Size is self-explanatory. You can change to any of the brushes you would use with the paintbrush tool. Blending mode, once again, we won't get into because we'll cover what blending modes do later. Opacity, also self-explanatory. Flow, once again, just in case you missed it in the other tool videos, changes the amount of times that you have to layer over the same spot to get to full opacity. I'll go ahead and show you what I'm talking about. Let's grab the source point. So if I click, it's pretty low opacity, but then if I scrub over it several times, we start to get full opacity. Whereas my flow is at 100%, we're just straight away with full opacity. And then sample, this just determines when you take your source point, whether it comes only from your current layer, whether it comes from the information from all the layers combined, or just current and below. Generally, all layers or current and below is best. This right here, if you check this on, your clone stamp will bypass adjustment layers, which I would normally keep that off, and this has to do with working with a tablet, so we can just forget about it for now. The other thing we have in the clone stamp tool group is the pattern stamp tool. This lets you paint a pattern onto your image based on a number of presets. So you can come up here, click, and you'll notice if we do something like these trees, anywhere we paint will bring that image into view. I'm going to go ahead and undo that. Similar settings as the clone stamp. Impressionist does some weird blending effects. I don't really like using Impressionist, and for what it's worth, I don't use this pattern stamp tool very often ever, but should you need to make a pattern like this, the tool exists for you to do so. And that does it for our clone stamp tool group.